In this episode, we take a look at a flashlight that's running off of 2 different types of batteries. Well, what's up, folks? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to another episode here at Gideon's Tactical. I'm your host, Aaron, and I'm super pumped for this flashlight. The Streamlight Protac 1L-1AA battery flashlight is what we're taking a look at here today, and man, am I stoked. There are several reasons I'm so excited about this flashlight. First off, we have a double loop over pocket clip, not only fitting on your hat brim for a headlamp feature, but also really nice deep ride for in your pocket. It's going to be nice and slim compared to a lot of other bigger, longer, fatter flashlights. It's name brand, so Streamlight, which is fantastic, not some no-name brand you never heard of, with a great warranty. And get ready for strobe. It's set up as a tactical light, meaning that when you hit the button the first time, you're going to go to high, double tap, you're going to go to strobe, triple tap, you're going to go to low. It's programmable, so you can set it to where maybe you want low, high strobe, maybe you want low strobe high, or anywhere in between. It has the ability to be programmed as well. It's double fueled. It runs off of one CR123 battery, giving you 350 lumens on high, or can run off of one AA at 150 lumens on high. So it's a dualing fueled system, and it's not going to break the bank at around $40. So this light has a lot for us to check out and look at today. We will have links in the description below over to Amazon and where you can pick these up. I saw them shortly for about $25, which is an insane deal. I don't know if it'll still be up when we go live, so again, check those links below. On average, I paid $40 for it, but anywhere around in there, Amazon, check out all those hyperlinks that we offer to you guys. It really helps us out, support the channel, helps me get out here, buy gear just like this. So thanks, guys, for your support. But really looking forward to checking this out and showing you all that it has to offer. And I mean, this is a lot going on for such a small price point, small footprint, but also a great name brand company. So let's go ahead, break it down, and see what this flashlight really has to offer, and if it's going to be a good crossover tactical EDC flashlight for you. All right, let's go ahead and break down some quick specs here before we get into the lumens and the throw and my overall feeling on the design as a whole here. What we're looking at is a length of 4¼ inches from front to back. We are looking at 600 series machined aircraft aluminum with IPX7 waterproof rating for 1 meter for 30 minutes. It's going to weigh 2.5 ounces, and the face diameter is going to be about 0.8 on its thickness, so just a hair under an inch in thickness. Has an LED solid state powered regulation, C4 LED illumination. It has an anti-roll face here, so it has little flattened portions to keep it from rolling, so you could rest it on something and illuminate the area, which is a great positive. First off, we have that recessed lens in there with some nice little gaps as well as teeth, so you could use this as a non-lethal strike, break open a car window, something like that if you needed to. And then on the back side, we're going to get kind of the same thing here. We have the button, which is recessed in, that we'll talk about a little later. That's a really big positive for me. It's not quite recessed enough with these 3 caps here to actually be able to stand it up on its own and use it kind of like a lantern. I can do it there on the ground because it's dirt, but if you do it on a hard table surface, it wants to rock to one side or the other. It's really tricky to kind of balance it, you know, and like the lightest bump of a table will knock it over because it's not 4 like this one here, or wider cutouts. So that's something I would have liked to see, the cutouts just a little bit better spaced so that you could stand it up very easily. It's not very easy to do that, but the button is about flush with those teeth, which is a nice positive. Now the pocket clip, as I said before, is double attachment, which is great. It is removable, so if you want to remove it, totally good with that as well. They do give you nice ribbing down here and nice texture up here to not only unscrew it if you need to, but also just to give you the right texture. Fits in the palm of my hand very nicely, just giving a slight exposure past my palm when I have my finger right there on the button. So fits really nicely in the hand and just has a really good grip. You're not, it's not wanting to slip around as you actuate it and use it. So it's giving you good texture as well and good grip. I feel like it's hitting a really nice size. It's not too big to where it's starting to take up a lot of room in your pocket and kind of become obnoxious, and it's not too small to where it's disappearing in your hand. It's kind of hard to actuate the button because it's so small. So I just wanted to swap this out here for us real quick, just so we can kind of see this whole functionality here. I'm going to twist this off. I've been running the CR123, really good gasket there. But then all I have to do is put in my AA. Boom, and we're ready to rock and roll. So super cool, and again, going to give me all those different capabilities that they have to offer on the light. All right, so let's go ahead and hit illumination here, and we'll do high, strobe, and then low real quick, just so that we can break them down with either the CR123 or the AA battery. Now, the 350 lumens is going to come from the CR123 battery. That's going to give you about 160 meters of throw, and that's going to run for about an hour and a half on that battery at that lumen percentage, which is really nice. It's got a really nice kind of center beam, definitely again that more tactical feel, and then kind of a less illuminated, wider throw. So it's not more like a floodlight, it's definitely more of a spotlight throw, which I really like, particularly for the scenario and situation that I tend to carry it in. Works really well for what I need now on really close-up stuff. That means if you're wanting to look at something detailed in your hand, you definitely want to go to the low, because that 350 with that spotlight is going to be really intense on your eyes, so you'll want to drop it for sure. But very good. I love all of that, and for what I'm looking for, it absolutely fits a need for me. Then if you swap it out and put the AA in, you're going to have a high of 150 lumens. I may have said 170 earlier on, I can't remember. It is 150 with the AA, and that's going to run for 1 hour and 20 minutes. I've tested both of them out. They're pretty accurate. They're right around that, within a couple minutes of each other, of what these rate. So just losing about 10 minutes of battery life with the AA, and you're obviously losing 200 lumens, but it's a great backup feature, I believe, when you're in a pinch and you don't have a CR123 around, or 150 is totally fine. You just want to have the features that this light offers of the strobe, the high, low, and those type of capabilities. And just want to give perspective as well on the power and the candelas that they will be running. The CR123 with that 350 lumens is going to be 6,400 candelas that will be throwing, whereas on high with the 150 lumens from the AA, you're looking at 2,750 candelas. So just kind of keep that in consideration. So then as we then go to the low setting, what we get with both batteries, which is kind of cool, you're going to get 40 lumens. Both AA or the CR123 will give you 40 lumens on low, which is still a great, amount of illumination. Now with the CR123, you're going to get 14 hours, and the beam is going to go about 53 meters and give you 720 candelas. Now on the AA, it's going to be 53 meters as well. It's going to be 7.5 hours of runtime on an alkaline, and 14 hours on a lithium, with 720 candelas again. So pretty close, depending on what type of battery, alkaline or lithium, that you use with the AA on the low. So that's a cool positive as well. Depending if you want to reprogram it to be low first and you don't really use high a lot, you might get very similar performance from a AA that you would have your CR123, which is pretty sweet. Then finally, the strobe for signaling or disorientation, which again I love having that capability. That's a major selling point for me. Another light that we're about to look at that's very similar that I've tested out in the past that was super close did not have a strobe. So I mean, strobe is something in this design that I always look for. Now with the CR123, it's going to give you 3 hours of runtime on that high setting. It's going to be throwing 350 lumens at somebody for 3 hours. Now on the AA, if you use alkaline, it's going to do 3.5 hours at 150 lumens, and if you do lithium, you're going to get 8 hours of runtime on that high. So you're actually going to get longer with the AA than you would with the CR123. So things to think about, concepts that, depending on how you are planning on using the light, may affect the design and the performance and which battery is best for whatever you're thinking you're going to use the light for. So the final thing I wanted to do here as we wrap up the video before we come to the final conclusion is I just want to run in some other competitive options, give you size perspective and concepts, because I'm about to drop this statement here. I've seen a lot of really good flashlights that we've tested out this year. We've really stepped up our flashlight game. As of yet, for kind of a do-everything EDC flashlight, this is my favorite flashlight that we've tested out this year. There are lots of great ones out there from every brand that we've tested out, but this really, if I was to pick up one flashlight this year, I would say this one, because of its crossover fuel capability, because of the functionality, the design, the size, the high lumen first, the 350 illumination, all of it coming together and at a great price point. So here's like the runner-up in size that you may be thinking of. It is the Olight M1T Raider. Now this one uses a CR123 battery, has that loop over pocket clip, very similar. You know, it has actually higher lumens. I believe I will annotate it in right now. A little bit shorter, but it does not have the capability to use a AA battery. So that's a drawback. Going to run you about $40. But I think it does have a higher battery life on that CR123, and I think it's like 500 lumens if I remember correctly. Again, I'm annotating it in, I may be totally off. But so I mean, there is a little bit more of a punch. You're going to get a little bit longer battery life. But the main thing for me was that, again, it only uses a CR123, and the button is not recessed. Recess is a big deal to me, because it's less likely for you to accidentally engage it in your pocket when you're carrying it everyday EDC carry. This one, the button is very high, it protrudes really high out. I've ended up clicking it sometimes in the pocket by mistake. So that's something to consider, something to think about. Still a great flashlight, but doesn't have a strobe feature either. It only has high and low. This one has that high-low strobe feature. So that's why it is a little bit more desirable for me, even if the output isn't quite there, even if the runtime isn't quite as high, because it has more capability for me, not only in the dual fueling, but also in the strobe feature that I just like to have on this type of flashlight. Next up is another great runner-up, the Streamlight Micro Stream in USB rechargeable form, 250 lumens, USB rechargeable, obviously fantastic, double loop over pocket clip, again, deep ride, almost the same length, but again, no recess button, so you could accidentally, you know, engage it in your pocket. You know, you can only recharge the battery when the battery is dead. You got to, you know, leave it on the shelf and recharge it. Things to consider. About the same price point, not quite as high on the lumen output, and is not going to have quite the spotlight capability. It's more of a floodlight throw. So those are things also to consider. Great EDC flashlight, but doesn't really have as much of a tactical capability as the Protac 1L-1AA. And then finally here, the Polytac from Streamlight. Again, right around the $35 to $40 price point, so very similar in price. That's going to run off of 2 CR123 batteries. It does have high, low, and strobe, which is a great plus. But you can see it's much larger. It doesn't have the double loop over capability. It's heavier. It's great for a kind of a do-everything flashlight, because you could carry it in your pocket, but you can also mount it to a long gun, a shotgun, or rifle, so that it does have some great crossover capability. But it's just a lot bigger footprint, and it's going to take 2 CR123 batteries without any dueling capability with the AA battery. So folks, there you have it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it's been informative, showed you what this light can do and all the features and capabilities. I love it. It's fantastic because it's just a little bit bigger than those AAA powered flashlights that seem to be very difficult to find anything that has more of a quote-unquote tactical capability, but it has a great punch. And if my CR123 runs out and I can't find one around, or I'm just wanting to save down on costs, I can use AA's all day long and still get all the capability just with lower lumens. So I think it's a fantastic option if you are looking for that crossover EDC sized but tactical featured flashlight, and you're not going to have to break the bank. Really cool. Really like what I see here on this flashlight from Streamlight. I hope you have enjoyed this video and it's been informative and helped you make a wise decision on whether or not this light is the right tool for you in your systems, in your daily living. That's what we always want to do here at the channel. So thank you so much. Please subscribe if you're not a current subscriber. We're throwing up videos every single week. Invite you to also check us out on Instagram, Facebook. We're throwing up stuff there as well, behind the scenes stuff, different informational things all the time. It's a blast. It's a great time for what we do there. And yeah, if you want to ask a question, get it answered in possibly an upcoming video, put #mailbag. You might see it answered in one of our Saturday specials, the show. And then finally, guys, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.